Hello again. As you can see, I haven't gotten very far with the chimpanzee. I did realize that I hadn't put his ear in yet, but other than that, I haven't done too much with him. But it came to me that maybe I should stop occasionally and go over some things that I think are important, especially if you're just learning how to paint. Or if you haven't even painted yet, and you've been thinking about it for years. Maybe you've been working like I did. I started out painting, and then life gets in the way. You got jobs, you're doing this and that, and then when you retire, you're always thinking, okay, I'm going to start painting. Where do I start? That's the question. Where do I start? What do I want to paint? You probably have some sort of an idea. You've probably been to art galleries and seen paintings, and you kind of have an idea of what you would like to do. And so I thought I'd give you 6 things you absolutely need to get started painting. And for our first thing, you need a canvas of some sort of surface. Actually, I think in the artist world they would just call it a surface, because you don't always paint on a canvas. Sometimes I've seen people paint on rocks. You can paint on walls, paint murals. You can paint on masonite. You can paint on wood. I showed you how you could paint on wood. So anyhow, you need some sort of surface to paint on. And if you go to art stores or even Walmart, you can get packages of canvas board. It's very inexpensive. You can get a package of 5 or 6 pretty inexpensively, so that you can experiment. You're going to want to experiment. You're going to want to make mistakes. You're going to just start doing stuff and see what happens. Also, I think the second most important thing is brushes. Start with some inexpensive brushes. You probably only need 3 brushes, large, medium, and small. And I've got some examples. This one's probably a little too large. This is a 3-inch. But this is more like it. A 1.5-inch or a 2-inch. Get it at the hardware store. It's for doing big areas, just getting the background in, or just doing water. You know, you don't want a little brush to be there all day. So you want a bigger brush for that. You want a medium-sized brush to do just about everything else you're going to do. And you're going to want a small brush for details. And let me see, by small, I'm saying like that. So, you know, you could do around his eyes. I'll put it back here, it's more in perspective. But you know what you want. So try just the 3 to start out with. And paint. Number 3 is paint. You have to decide, do you want to start out with oils, start out with acrylics? Have you always wanted to do watercolor? Because watercolor is very pretty, it's very easy to clean. I started out with watercolor. Let me show you a book. My kids got me this book. Oops, it's absolutely backwards. It's called Art School, a complete painter's course, and it was a Barnes & Noble book. You can read it there somewhere. Backwards and upside down. Okay, so any book will do, but what I'm trying to say is, if you can get a book that has it has watercolor, it has acrylic, and it has oil, and it has all the basics of how you would start doing those things. And then, of course, there's the internet. If you decide you like watercolor, This is how I started out with watercolor. These. Can't get much more inexpensive than that. Of course, I didn't use the little brush that just fell out. I didn't use the little, I might have used it sometimes, but mostly I used a nice brush. But you can get these, you know, they're for kids, but if you're just starting out, do you really want to spend a lot of money? They're just, that's going to be backwards too. Okay. Well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. These you can get at Michael's, or any Hobby Lobby, those kind of things. And then we have, let me see if I can show you this. There's acrylic. So I've got these acrylic. You can get these very inexpensive acrylic paints. Yes. Or you can get these little kits. These are a lot of fun. Got every color in there you need. I think this was like $8. But even then, you could, these little guys here, $1 something, $1.25 or something. You only need 3 colors. Red, blue, yellow. I was going to get my color wheel so you could see. But you can make any other color with those colors. And then you need white. Black is sort of an optional thing. You know, that's a whole nother discussion for another day. Some artists don't use black. They use Payne's gray. But dark umber, what is it? Burnt umber is very dark that you can use for darker things. Or to darken a blue, or to darken a red, or to darken something you're doing. So let's move on. I don't want this to turn into a big boring lecture. I just wanted you to know that you don't have to buy a lot of things to start painting. Look at this, is the top from Chinese food cover. You can use these for a palette. I think palettes are our next subject. Or you can spend money on the palette. There's all kinds of palette things at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Or you can tear out the pieces. Where did I set that? I set it down somewhere so I could show you. But basically, you get it full of paint, and when you're done, you rip off the top sheet. Yeah, I don't know, they have probably 15 or 20 sheets on them. They last a long time, really. And with the watercolors, you just use the little tin. They use the top of, you can use the lid. Take a paper towel, wipe it out. Okay, so something to clean the brushes. I think we're on 5. Doesn't matter. You need something to clean the brushes. Soap and water works great for acrylic, and it works great for watercolor. What I use for oil paints is a pickle jar. And in this pickle jar is a little scrubby thing at the bottom that you would use for cleaning your dishes, pots and pans. It's down on the bottom, and then the rest of the jar is halfway full of odorless turpentine. And notice I know a lot of people complain about the smell. This has a cover. You take like a minute and a half to rinse your brushes in there and you put the cover back on. I don't see what the problem is. But there are other things. Also, after I've done that, I use Dawn dishwashing liquid in my sink. I put a little bit on each brush and try and make sure I get all the oil out of the very bottom of the brush. You see, the brushes, a lot of times this top part will change colors, but you don't want anything stuck in this bottom part here. And sometimes it's hard to get it out of there. Paper towel and Dawn dishwashing liquid works very well. Okay, the sixth and last thing is an idea or imagination. If you are thinking about starting painting, then you've probably had some idea in your mind of what you wanted to paint. If you don't, get yourself a little notebook and take a walk. Go out in the woods, go out in nature, go someplace where you can be alone with your thoughts and think about, do I want to do a photograph of my grandchild? Do I want to do a landscape? I think Bob Ross came up with a lot of his paintings in his 30-minute show. I think he had so many ideas of those mountains in his head that he didn't really need to have a photograph there. And I've heard that he practiced before the show started. He probably did one painting over and over again. But you can use your imagination and just come up with a landscape, because you know what trees look like and you know what grass looks like, and so you could go about it that way. Also, maybe you want to be an abstract painter. Maybe you don't want it to actually look like anything in particular. You just love color. Maybe you just love colors and you want to try some different colors. Whatever you want to do. An idea of where you want to go with your painting before you start is very important, because it helps you stay on track and come up. It forces you to get to the end and have it look like what you were wanting it to look like. Okay, so that's enough of me talking. Next week I will start on doing the chimp some more. I need to redefine where the branches of the tree is going to go. I think this tree behind his head's going to go. I don't like that there, but I do like these branches here, and then I need to work on the background a little bit. So until I see you again, I hope you're having a great day, and hope you're having a great new year. Bye.